Hi, everyone. This is John. Um, I always struggle is what do I say as an introduction um, to welcome you and to let you know I'm glad glad you're taking the time to listen to this. I get excited about sharing these devotional ideas with you, and it's just I guess that's my talent. That's my gift. I like to share and help people out. Um, I like to be as casual as possible. I want you to feel relaxed, welcomed. I am a real person, and I'm just speaking from my heart. I do speak from the notes that I create just to keep me on track and everything. But I'm glad you're here, and whether you're with a cup of coffee, a cup of water, a cup of tea, whatever it may be, or not, maybe it's a different time of the day for you, and you're getting ready to wind down, and you just need a word of encouragement or whatever. Um, this is where you need to be. I'm glad you've chosen to be here, and I'm glad I'm able to just share some things from my heart and what I've learned and what God does and what God's capable of doing and willing to do in your life. So, what are we going to talk about today? I try to pick things or look at things that people deal with and, that are relevant to y'all. And I know every one of these is things that I've dealt with and learned and needed help with. And so today, I'm just going to take some time and just take a look at how I learned to actually experience peace as a Christian. You know, there was a time when this really frustrated me because I believed in God. I prayed. I read scripture. It seemed like I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to do. But my mind, it was still restless. Still thinking, still reacting, still running through everything that could go wrong. And I remember laying there at night thinking, why don't I feel peace? What am I missing? Am I missing something? And what what is going on? Because on the outside my faith looked good, right? But internally something was off. Well, one of the things that I realized about peace, at some point I had to be honest with myself about it. You see, because I was expecting peace to come from belief alone, but I wasn't doing anything with my thoughts. As that, do you think peace comes just because you believe it's there and it's available? Well, that's when it clicked for me. Peace isn't just about what I believe. You see, it's about how I manage my mind because I could believe God and still let my thoughts run unchecked. And when my mind had no direction, it defaulted to overthinking, reacting, and trying to control everything. So, as I said, there's always answers in the scripture. So, what scripture changed my perspective? Well, Isaiah 26:3 is the verse that shifted everything for me. It says that you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you. I've read that verse many times before, but I never really saw what it was saying, right? How many times we read things, but that just doesn't connect? See, peace wasn't just connected to faith. It was connected to where my mind stayed. That meant I had a role in this. So what's the process that helped me? Well, one, I stopped waiting for peace to show up, and I started practicing it. Here's the things that I started to do. Here's 3 or 4 little simple steps that you can follow too, but have helped me. One is I started clearing my mind instead of carrying everything. You see, I didn't realize how full my mind was, not just with thoughts, but with unfinished thoughts, things I hadn't processed, conversations that were being replayed, situations that I kept revisiting. So I started doing something simple before bed. I wrote everything out. You see, no structure, no formality or anything. I just started writing the things that were on my mind. I was just getting it out of my head and onto paper or however you wanted to record it. And for the first time, I felt space. Now, I know we're talking about peace, but space is important. Pour out our hearts to Him. Psalm 62:8. I realized I wasn't meant to carry everything internally. And I know you've heard me say that so many times before. But there are so many things that we aren't meant to carry. We need to trust. The second thing is that I stopped treating everything like it was my responsibility. Once everything was on paper, I noticed something. I was treating everything like it needed my attention. So I started asking, can I actually do something about this now? If yes, I wrote one action. If no, I made a decision to release it. That was hard at first because I was used to holding on to things just in case. But this verse challenged me. Do not worry about tomorrow, Matthew 6:34. Peace didn't come when everything was solved. It came when I stopped carrying what wasn't mine to control. The third little thing that you can do is that I learned to close the day mentally. You know, there was something I'd never done before, and I used to just go to bed, right? You finish up your day, finish up your routines or whatever, and you go to bed. But my mind didn't know the day was over, so it kept working. Kept replaying, revisiting, reopening things. I had to start giving it closure. So I began saying things like, I've done what I can for today. Or I would say things like, this will be handled tomorrow. Or it could be something like, I don't need to solve this tonight. And I would say it slowly so my mind could actually register it. You see, the peace of God guards our hearts and minds when we give them to Him, Philippians 4:7. So I realized peace comes when I stop trying to resolve everything at once. The fourth thing that you can try is that I started to redirect my thoughts. Even after everything else that we've tried, my mind would still drift back. And this is where I used to get really frustrated because, you know, I learned something important. My job wasn't to stop thoughts. It was to guide them. You know, and I want you to grasp that. The process here, our responsibility here isn't to stop our thoughts. It's to guide them. It's to release them. So I gave my mind somewhere to go. Simple truths like, God is in control. I've done what I can. I don't need to carry this. And every time my mind drifted, I brought it back again and again to 2 Corinthians 10:5, take every thought captive. And over time, my mind started learning a new pattern. And it will do for you too. 4 little simple steps. So, what does peace look like for me today? Well, you know, we still have thoughts, and I still have moments where my mind wants to run. But now, listen, okay, now I don't follow it automatically. You see, when I'm laying in bed and my thoughts start building, I pause and I remind myself, I don't need to follow this. And then I walk through the process that we just mentioned. I get it out, I separate it, I close it, and I redirect my mind. And then things shift. There's that space. There's that peace that enters. And it comes to a truth that I had to accept You see, for a long time, I believed if I had more faith, I would feel peace. But that wasn't the issue. The real question was, am I guiding my mind or letting it run and control me? Because those are the two completely different things. Colossians 3:15 says, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts." You see, that word "let" changed things for me. It means I can allow peace or I can override it. You see, it's what I do. Am I going to allow His peace to rule? Or am I going to try to continue to control? So the shift that happened in my life that changed things is that I stopped waiting for peace to happen and started building it daily. Peace became something I practiced, not reacting to every thought, not carrying everything internally, not trying to solve everything at night. That's what it started to look like in real life. So what do I want to leave with you today? Let me leave you with these thoughts. If your mind has been restless, even though you believe in God, you're not doing something wrong. You're just missing structure. So tonight, I want you to try those 4 steps. Clear what's in your mind. Separate what actually matters, what you can and cannot affect. Close what doesn't need to stay open, and redirect your thoughts. And then let your mind settle. You see, it's not because things are figured out, but it's because you no longer are trying to carry and solve everything all at once. Let me leave you with this blessing. May your mind begin to slow down tonight, not because life is perfectly in order, but because you are no longer trying to hold everything together on your own. May your thoughts become clearer, your heart steadier, and your mind more anchored in truth. And may you experience what Jesus has promised. He said, "Peace I leave with you." So do not let your hearts be troubled. Rest in that steady, grounded peace that comes when you finally stop carrying what was never yours to hold. Thank you for being with us. Sure love to hear from you. Write a comment down below. Let me know what spoke to your heart, or let me know maybe some challenges or another topic that you would like for me to share some insights on for you for future videos. Remember, Jesus has given us peace. God is our peace. Peace isn't just the absence of circumstances. It is the presence of God in our lives. The whole world can be fallen apart around us, but we can still be at peace because He loves us, He cares about us, He wants us to trust Him, He wants to take care of you. So today, claim His peace. Let His peace rule your heart. God bless.